So a lot of the stuff I do with investment is investment construction. There's not a lot of folks doing that. So work with Mike on work together and stuff. I think what's good to understand, actually before I even dive into investment construction, something I wanted to talk about is something I share with a bunch of my real estate friends and other lenders actually. An easy way to get into your first rental, not an easy way, one option is to bridge out of your home you're in right now and to keep it at paying a lower interest rate for your first rental. Because the way WAFED does it is if you've got enough lendable equity in your home, you can turn that home that you're leaving into your rental property, buy your next property, borrow and lien against it. We keep both of them on the same deed, but now you're still paying, we'll subordinate to whoever holds that lien, but now you're paying like 4% on your rental property. We don't need a lease agreement. We don't need a security deposit. We're just going to assume you're going to get that thing taken care of. You never have to sell it. The only difference is we rate your loan up. So I'll illustrate that real quick for you. Thank you. So we look at the total
Can I stop
value.
you for a second?
Yeah. Go.
I'm not like a realtor. My wife is a realtor. I'm here on behalf of her and learning, so a lot of this is fast for me. But you guys something about putting both the house you had during the rental and your new house in the same.
Yeah. Same. It'll both be on the same deed of trust. That's how we work it. So WAFED. So basically, you come to me and you go, "Hey, I got this house I'm living in right now. We want to sell it and buy another house. And the house, I'm going to sell. First thing I'm going to say is, okay, how much are you going to sell your house for that you're in right now? You're like, we're going to sell for $400,000. So okay, $400,000. That's the value of your exit home. And then I'm going to say, okay, how much are you going to spend on the new home you're going to buy? You're like, well, coincidentally, we're going to spend $400,000 on this new home. So your new home is $400,000. That's your new purchase, both these values. Then I'm going to say, okay, how much do you owe on your exit home? You're going to say, we owe $100,000 on this home. I'm going to say, wow, you're perfect, we love you. This is going to work out for you. So that $100,000 is what's owed, right? And that's what you owe on this home. So we take the total of these two values, it's $800,000, right? I'm going to need a calculator in a second. We take that $800,000 and we times it by 0.75%. So we take, we've got one take 800 times by 0.75. What's that giving you? $600,000. That's what that equals. That's how much we can lend you. But wait a second. We still have to factor in the fact you still owe $100,000 to your first lien on this property. So we can do that math. It's $500,000. It'll come up here so I can actually write it. I write really big. Anton writes really small. Sorry. So $500,000 is what we can lend you. So you're going to spend $400,000. You're going to have closing costs. Let's say closing costs on $400,000. WAFED's a little pricier. We all know this. That's why I'm everybody's favorite guy with the lending world. We're probably looking at on a $400,000 purchase. Let's just say 12 to be just super safe. $12,000. So you're basically wrapping that in. You have a $412,000 loan. If you can afford it, if you can afford the payments, $400,000 or $412,000 loan, you're basically got a cashless deal. So you can get into that next property without spending any money. You're not putting any money down. You're into it, $412,000. Say you're paying 4% on your exit home right now on that $100,000. And you're going to pay 4% on this. We'll probably rate you up a quarter to 4.25 to carry both properties or to lean against and borrow the equity of your first home. But in essence,
which is still cheaper than getting a HELOC.
It's still cheaper than getting a HELOC. It's just not because it's fixed. And you're staying fixed because you probably have this in a 30.
Yep.
And you're going to have this in a 30. So we're going to give you 75%, 25% vacancy factor. So we're going to give you up to 75% of what you're going to rent that house out for. So a $400,000 house.
75% of what you're going to rent the house out for to change your debt to income ratio.
Absolutely.
Okay, got it.
We actually don't even factor that in, to be honest with you. So when we're actually configuring this, we ignore it totally. So we're not even going to factor it in because we don't know. You can tell us, I might sell this house. You might. Or you're going to rent it and keep it. You can do it for as long as you want. You're never going to be required to sell this house. You can keep it at 4%, knock that down eventually to nothing, but in the meantime, you have your first rental, you have your new home cash with the cash. If you ever come in to pay it down to 80% loan to value, then we knock off that 1/4%, and you're paying 4% again, and you can still keep this, and you're still paying 4%. So it's a way to kind of get into your first home in a different avenue. Obviously, there's other avenues you guys are
No,
talking
I
about.
love it, this is perfect.
So this is just another way to get into that other home and still pay 4%, and you've got the flexibility, plus we can get you in there without calculating against your TTO.
Perfect. So is this called a bridge loan
It's
product?
called a cross-collateral loan.
Cross-collateral.
It's a bridge loan.
Okay.
And how many, is that only on your first rental, or could it be on your 50th rental?
This is a one-time thing. I mean, you can't really keep doing it,
Okay.
because obviously, if you move to this, well, if I work with another underwriter,
Now we're cooking with gas.
Okay, that new home has to be owner occupied.
absolutely, you
You
can't.
can't use it to buy a
Yeah,
house.
it's more of a, this is how we're gonna do it one time kind of thing. That's why I wasn't saying, this isn't your quick, shifty, awesome way to grow a lot of real estate, but it's a great way to take, okay, I'm ready to do this, is how I got into mine.
Okay, do I have to upgrade or can I downgrade?
You can downgrade. You're just gonna be able to walk right into that house and you're not even gonna lean that much against it. You can go from 4 to 3 to 4 to 2, it doesn't matter. You're still gonna be able to keep this at 4% or whatever that low rate is instead of 5 or something like that. You're gonna cash flow more effectively, and we're never gonna worry about what you do with it. Ever.
So for conversation's sake, 5 years down the road, I go and I sell the one I moved out of, then what happens?
We remove it from the deed because we don't need to lean against it anymore. We drop you pay down the contingency that you pay down once you sell this house down to 80% loan to value.
Got it.
We drop that 1/4 off.
Got it.
But for all, you might never do that.
Yep.
I just closed 2 last month down in Seattle. One was a $700,000 property, and one's a bit buying at $800,000. They're gonna rent that one out, and they might just hang on to it and then pay down the loan by down to 80% LTV.
So when all this is put together, they moved out of the $400,000 house, and the other $400,000 house, they still only owe $100,000 left. So they get a loan for $512,000, because that includes the loan for the new house, the remaining loan, and the closing costs.
Now this is just what you're borrowing from us.
Right, right.
So you're wrapping your closing costs in. We're paying it's cash free. It's right down the line. You don't have to pay any down. We're subordinating to this deal on this particular property. So all we do is we record on the same deed of trust saying
Explain what subordination means. Yeah, there.
Subordination means something WAFA does not like to do other than in this particular situation. It means that we'll take a back seat. So it's like Vanton's got the first lien on a property. I come in and I'm gonna go, hey, I need to take a lien. You're gonna get right behind me because I'm not subordinating to you. So we say, yes, Bank of America, you have this loan. You have first right, you have the first, when it comes to collateralizing that property or recovering that property, they get that first knock at it because they have $100,000 that they're leaning against it. We lean secondly against it for the 20% down on this house because they have that extra 20% plus closing costs. It gets you into the house cashless, and it gets you in a rental property that cash flows a little more effectively.
For someone who's going to do a very conservative and consistent approach, phenomenal vehicle, this is cheaper than going and getting a HELOC. Because a HELOC's going to be variable too, that's the whole problem you're going to run into.
And you're doing 2 things. You're upgrading your home, or you're getting into something smaller and downsizing, and you're keeping other, especially for people, I have folks that are like retiring, and they want to just downsize. And they want to keep this house though, and they want to rent it out as another income property for them as they retire and have some more money coming in. So we do it that way too.
So I guess what I'm unclear, I'm wondering is, so then now I have one loan for $512,000 covering both houses? You have 2 mortgages.
2 loans. You still have this loan, you're still paying it.
Okay, so that was what I really wanted to do, is and we've already exited our house, we already have a house, can we still do this? Right.
You still keep, well, no, I mean, you've already gotten a loan for the new house. And
We've already bought the new house, rented, renters.
it's hard to do it now. It's best to do it when you're just ready to do it. When you're looking for properties, you're trying to get finance for the property you're going to buy your new purchase. After it's already said and done, it's kind of hard to do. Unless you bought a new house right now, correct?
Yeah, we've been in it for a year.
You can always, and this is something that Mike talked to me about before, we talked about cross-collateralizing multiple properties. We can take a few of your rentals and I'm actually doing this for a realtor right now. We're going to cross-collateralize 4 of his properties for him in order to buy another rental property. That's a whole other conversation. So we can take set value, I don't know, am I giving too much time?
No, this is perfect, this is exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, maybe I should embrace some of this stuff.
There's your eraser for your big handwriting.
Sorry, it's massive. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, it's perfect.
It's so small.
Perfect. Yours is more eligible though.
Well, it's just massive. I run out of room.
Eligible.
It's eligible. So, say you have 3 investment properties, each of them worth 200, well, let's just make it a round number. So say they're all, each of them are worth $200,000. And you own 2 of them free and clear, and this one you owe 100 against. In our eyes, we can take 400, we have $500,000 of equity we can lean against to buy a new home, owner occupied, or buy another investment property. So it just gets, we're gonna take vacancy factors against all that stuff. We'll probably give you a 25% vacancy factor, which will give you 75% of your total gross rents from all this, and put you in here, and we'll probably give you 75 as well on your new purchase. That's another way of trying to just, borrow from Peter to pay Paul to build another Peter. Yep. If that makes sense.
Can I use this as a bridge loan?
Well, this is what this is. Yeah, we're calling this cross-collateralization. We're
Right,
just doing
but
multiple properties.
with the intent that, I'm gonna take that money, I'm gonna go out someplace else, I'm buying someplace else to move into, and then my house is gonna be on the market. My for sale sign's gonna be up the day after the loan closes.
I guess you could do that.
There's going to be so you're looking for a combined. What's the equity you're looking for as the combined for the collateralization and the new purchase?
We need at least 30% down on any new investment purchase, so we're going to try to get 30 out of all this.
Okay, so you don't care if there's a for sale sign on my property when your loan closes?
Your property, well,
My existing property.
your primary residence
My
you're
primary.
living in?
Yeah, I'm putting it up for sale and I'm moving to,
But this is really for you've got
Where?
rentals and you want to buy another rental.
Yeah, this is for.
I understand that, but.
I guess I don't think we're going to be too worried about it. I mean, if you don't say anything about it and we close the loan and that's you're going to sell it. And
But if the appraiser comes out there and the for sale signs on the front lawn,
on one of these properties.
on the one that I'm in, and that's,
Okay, I think I'm getting confused because let me rewind and tell you what I'm saying. So these are all investment properties that you do not occupy.
No, I'm talking about, I'm in my existing property, I've got equity, but, I can't sell my house right now for whatever reason, but I wanna be looking for property elsewhere. I find my dream home, but I'm not ready to sell my house
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
fine.
want a bridge loan where I can,
You
you
just talked about that last product I explained.
Yeah.
But with your intents to sell, maybe. You might sell, you're gonna wait to get the price you want, you can sit on it for a while.
Okay, years ago, if there was a for sale sign in the yard, when the appraiser came out, it killed the deal.
Not on this kind of a deal because it's specially designed for you to exit that home
Okay.
and buy another. And we're gonna say, yeah, you can exit it and pay it down by 20% once you sell it, even if you sell it after we close. Or you can hang on to it, like I illustrated before, and actually turn it into a rental property for you. That's how that would behave after the fact. But yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, my HOA won't let me rent.
Okay.
So just so I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
I've got 500 here, and then I've got to hit 70 all the way across the board, even into the next one.
So the next one costs you 300.
Yeah.
So we're gonna want 70% about what is that?
210.
210. Yeah, how do you do that? That's how your head. So that difference right there, we just borrow that from here.
Got it.
So we take. Well, this is what. So we got 600,000, and you owe 100. So we got 500,000 to borrow from you. You're all day.
So
We just lean against some of it.
for theoretically though.
We would just probably use one property then. We don't want to tile through.
Yeah, that's exactly
No,
okay. So this situation we tie one. Well, let's just say I want to go buy a commercial building, and I want to take as much as humanly possible here, and I've got 500.
Then you got 500 to play with.
500 to play with, and with the next purchase, I've got to hit 70% loan to value on that, or 70% for the total.
Plus, you need to have really good, strong reserves.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Good credit.
Yep.
Strong history. That kind of stuff.
Got it. Perfect. I love it.